Trans people deserve rights and respect the same way anyone else.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your commentary on that topic. All right, so the next thing to look at is F1NN5TER made this video talking about her relationship with Kris Tyson. I don't know a lot about F1NN5TER apart from the fact that F1NN5TER is trans. That's really the majority of what I know. They did follow me on Twitter, and I just didn't follow them back because I don't want to see what they're posting. I don't want to see their thirst traps or whatever, you know. I'm sorry, I don't want to see trans thirst traps. But anyway, my relationship with Kris Tyson.
Many of you know about the Kris Tyson situation, and if you don't, the main plot line is that she was both publicly and privately talking inappropriately to a minor. If you're someone that looked up to Ava, I get it. 90% of what's out there is just people throwing slurs and lying about things. I get that you want to immediately jump.
90%? Is 90% of it people throwing slurs? I don't think that's the case at all. I'm sorry. Like, the Penguin Zero video has, how many views at this point? Okay, this is like the most viewed video, 8.5 million views. 90% of it is calling them slurs. I don't see the T slur anywhere in here, to be honest. So that's not really true. There are definitely people who are doing that. 90%, more like 70%? No, more like 30% maybe. Because the majority of people looking at this don't care about trans people.
Jump to a defense. I'm obviously not going to be doing that. But from the perspective of someone that used to be a fairly close friend, let's go through what she said and did so you get context of the situation and you'll understand why I'm distancing myself and you'll see a bunch of other people distancing themselves too. I don't know if you can tell by the dead look in my eyes here, but I didn't exactly see this news coming. And it's pretty so let's look. So everyone's seen this one. I get the defense. It was 2016, edgy jokes, whatever. I know this sort of
This is the nothing gets my knob cranking like some lolly. I take major problems with lolly is cute, yeah.
that I said back in 2016 when I was a 16-year-old. So quite frankly, I didn't care when I saw it. It's more that there are a lot of tabs on my screen and you can see how many of them are going to be quite bad. I want to focus on a couple things that I can personally verify, as I don't think anyone really has yet. So what I'm mainly going to be focused on is not the stuff that's just edgy jokes. It's the stuff where they're interacting publicly with someone who's underage. And I believe the
thing is, I feel like this is not just an edgy joke. Like, okay, it was one tweet where they said nothing gets my knob breaking like some lolly, and there was no evidence of them liking lolly or buying lolly art or being into it. That would make sense, right? That would be fine, right? Sometimes people make jokes, you know? Sometimes when I'm hanging out with my friends, we'll make a joke about f***ing kids, and we're not gonna kid and we're not into lolicon, right?
I was not with a kid last night, bro.
Yeah, come here, little dude. Let's go in my van. I'm also f***ing 5.
High-risk homosexual coming through.
High risk, high flamboyancy, homosexual, flaming in on a f***ing dragon. Can you admit that?
The problem is that they're a fan of someone who specifically drew a real child getting. That is a real problem. That is a big problem. That is a huge problem. And this is like, once again, this tweet is like out of context here. There's a greater context to this.
Sort of that I said back in 2016 when I was a 16-year-old. So quite frankly, I didn't care when I saw it. It's more that there are a lot of tabs on my screen and you can see how many of them are going to be quite bad. I want to focus on a couple things that I can personally verify, as I don't think anyone really has yet. So what I'm mainly going to be focused
I agree. The problem is when you put all the evidence together, it's a huge red flag. Context is important, yes.
On is not the stuff that's just edgy jokes. It's the stuff where they're interacting publicly with someone who's underage, and I believe
it's not just edgy jokes though. There's like, I mean, I showed them. Hold on. Okay, so they even talk about the lolly stuff past this. Like, that's one tweet. That's one tweet. Kris personally bought Shadman's artwork, as we see here, tweeting it out. Kris said they wanted to see Shad draw Beast Boy from Teen Titans as a trap. Kris Tyson said, "Help, I need an adult," in response to a picture of Caillou and his mom, which is art from a lolicon artist. They're responding to Shadman's art.
And so at this point,
they say they're twins, so at that point it's just masturbation. This is not Shadman's art, this is some other lolicon artist. There's a picture of their apartment at the time with the art up on the wall. They were so proud of it, they put it on the wall. They weren't even ashamed of it. They didn't think it was a problem. And then you have nothing gets my knob cranking like some lolly. So it's like, it's all of this. It's all of this put together. It's like, what the
believe the youngest this person I'm going to go over what
Smaggle wants me to play some clip.
Ava were shown in many styles. However, the most notable ones included a 2016 tweet in which Kris Tyson would tweet out, "Nothing gets my knob cranking like some lolly." This tweet, although very strange on the surface, would be taken out of context as it was a response to a thread which included another person. The other person in the thread would be mentioning how lolly is okay as long as it's animated, to which Kris Tyson would respond in a sarcastic manner to the other individual in the thread, saying that nothing gets my knob cranking like some lolly. Another example of a tweet taken out of context would be a 2017 post which included Kris Tyson tweeting out, "That bitch look good for a 4-year-old." This tweet would also be taken out of context as it was a lyric from a song known as Dora the Explorer.
Oh,
by Pink
okay.
Guy, Filthy Frank aka Joji.
Yeah, true. Actually, I do remember that.
I'm not defending any of the past tweets they made that were mentioned in this video. I just want everyone to understand that some of the past tweets Ava Kris Tyson may have put out can really be misunderstood.
Okay, fair point, I guess.
They were 13 and the oldest they were 16. I am no mogul male, I don't know when things were when, but let's be real, if it was 16 or 13, it's still pretty f***ing bad. Ava or Kris, I'm gonna just go with Ava, used to have a Patreon page, and Lava was one of the people that donated briefly. Ava's follow-up to Lava was that she said she posted some news for you, please no share, which is cringe. This was also over 6 years ago, and the landscape of what you could talk about on the internet and joke about was different, but I don't think it really ever involved talking to minors like this. Here, Lava posts a screenshot in a public Discord from a Snapchat they got from Kris saying, "Coming for America." Now, to be honest with you, a bunch of the videos that were made on this framed things very weirdly, and I was immediately on edge and guarded about believing them, especially in the manner that it was presented. Throwing slurs out there, I've managed to get a few threats already, which is fun. To someone like
Do those people say slurs? Did Cheeto say a slur in his video?
me who has met Kris once. These are the people in my DMs calling me a lot of slurs and myself, so I
Hold on.
on this framed things very weirdly, and I was immediately on edge and guarded about believing them, especially in the manner that it was presented. Throwing
Cheeto talked about the Chadman stuff, though. He didn't even talk about the DMs. This doesn't seem like a very well-researched video, Finster. Also, you may not be mogul male, so maybe you don't know exactly what happened, but you can read tweet on the post, like, to get the story accurate. Like, if you're gonna respond to this situation and you're friends with Ava Kris Tyson, like, you just said you were good friends with Kris for a long time, right? Didn't they just say that?
But from the perspective of someone that used to be a fairly close friend, let's go through
Fairly close friend,
to someone like me who has met Kris once.
and you kind of downplay it, but like, I met them in person once. Like, what?
This was also over 6 years ago, and the landscape of what you could talk about on the internet and joke about was different, but I don't think it really ever involved talking to minors like this. Here, Lava posts a screenshot in a public Discord from a Snapchat they got from Kris saying, "Coming for America." Now, to be honest with you, a bunch of the videos that were made on this framed things very
To be clear, these videos are all about the lolly stuff. They're not about the DMs
weirdly, and I was immediately on edge and guarded about believing them,
or the other tweets to Lava.
especially in the manner that it was presented. Throwing slurs out there, I've managed to get a few threats already, which is fun. To someone like me who has met Kris once. These are the people in my DMs calling me a lot of slurs and myself, so I usually
Pick a number between 1 and 20. 20.
take their opinions at face value. But then I saw this. This is Lava responding in 2018 to Ava, which said, "Does she know about your hentai addiction?" And I had the like Peter Quill fucking eyes wide open shot after he figures out his dad's mom. I had this with that tweet because Ava has spoken to me about hentai, which
Oh no.
is fine in the context of two adults having a conversation, especially when one of them does work like me. And it wasn't like it was sprung on me either. There was an ask.
In fairness, Lava did say that the hentai addiction thing from their perspective was a joke, and they didn't even know whether or not Kris had a hentai addiction. So unless Lava is lying there, then this point is somewhat moot, but still.
Of like, can we talk about this? And I said yes. But
Can we talk about my hentai addiction, bruh?
under no
What is Finster doing?
circumstances should a child have ever heard that, you know? Having said that, I don't know how they heard it. They talked a lot publicly, and it seems like a bit privately. Going onto the Drama Alert Twitter, they posted this video.
Thanks for the
This
5,
ain't
Mike.
true. And this screenshot is Kris Tyson talking one-on-one with him. And at this point, he would have been 16. And here we go.
Now, Lava himself responded to it. Lava responded to a quartering tweet saying that there were no sexual messages exchanged. I would venture to say if you're talking about hentai, maybe not. I see that as fairly sexual. Now, I really highly doubt that that was ever talked about explicitly to Lava, as Lava's been really outspoken about it. Making tweets saying these videos are massive lies, twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. Can you do
I mean, Ava definitely did stuff wrong. Maybe this guy just doesn't think that he did anything wrong to him. But, you know, Ava Kris Tyson definitely did stuff wrong. I don't think there's any explanation for that. It's so annoying that we all immediately knew the whole trans community would get set back by this. Is that really the main concern, though? I feel like there's other concerns here, maybe.
me the favor and comment on these videos and tell them stop spreading lies. The situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. I am not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos or at all. Talking about the videos that were made on the situation and then then in response saying, I'm not a victim, I'm not backpedaling any statements I've already made. Everything I've stated is still very true. Nothing bad happened between me and Kris. People are creating lies around my name. And then he talks about crediting the right videos that need to be taken down, in his opinion. Personally, I believe him, but it doesn't really matter. Most people's first thing is you're a victim, we can't really take your word on this. But look, even if there were no messages like that exchanged, I really highly doubt Ava is a groomer like people are saying. If they're saying nothing happened, I'm gonna go with nothing happened. But even with what's confirmed publicly, it's bad. There should be no like jokes about nudes or hentai exchanging or...
I agree with this completely. Yeah, actually pretty good. As far as the past 10 seconds, pretty good take. Basically the conclusion I came to.
A ton of other screenshots between Lava and Kris that I don't think were appropriate. No matter how Lava feels about it now, it doesn't change the fact that it was still weird and wrong and gross. Also, sorry, I'm about to flashbang you. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen a ton of this, and I have nothing unique to add. That's a guy called Shadman. Shadman does awful criminal stuff on the internet. I can't put it any other way. He draws child. It's just quite bad, isn't it? It's not even like, oh, it's a cartoon character, so it doesn't technically count. No, they drew of a real kid. Keemstar's kid, actually. To which Keemstar did leak some DMs and say, you didn't apologize to me a month ago in private when I brought up...
Why won't Keem just leak these DMs? I don't understand. Like, he'll say what they talked about. Why don't we just post the screenshot? Like, I think I saw some tweet from Keemstar. He was like, I won't leak DMs about this because that's not what I do. But if you already leak what's in the DMs, so why not just leak the specific DMs? Like, if I'm going to publicly say, like, this person said this, but I'm not going to leak the DM. Like, you just said they said it. Why not just show what they said?
Behavior, supporting a cartoon CP artist that drew my 8-year-old daughter in a way. What changed? And honestly, he's putting it lightly that Shadman did that. I've seen the image blurred, and I don't feel comfortable showing it here. It's very bad. And the reason why people are bringing up Shadman is because Ava had a piece of artwork by him. This was just printed out. I'm not going to show it because this one isn't a real kid, but it's awful. And one last thing that came out was a video was shared, leaked. I'm not really sure of way back in the day that she made a video talking about Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly, specifically when...
Tom, I think people are giving too much credence to an alleged victim of grooming, saying they weren't groomed. Like, if they were groomed, that's exactly what they would say. So people saying Lava. I mean, the thing is, I agree with that point. The problem is that it's still alleged grooming, right? In regards to that specific person.
Revenge of her was leaked.
How's it going, you guys? So, you'll probably see the photos get taken down at some point tonight, maybe tomorrow, because Nickelodeon has that kind of power. But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
The rest of the video goes on to talk about how sharing revenge was wrong, but it was linked in the description, which, what? But okay, why am I even making this in the first place? This is easily one of those things that I could just talk about on stream or never mention and just deal with it in therapy, that I was friends with this person. And the reason is me and Ava have known each other for a while. Back around late 2022, early 2023, we started talking a lot more, playing video games, and discussing the possibility that they might transition. And at the time, I was already on estrogen, and so they wanted to know some info about it. Basically just to check that her doctors had given her all the information she could get, and I was very supportive, and we continued chatting about transition stuff, just life in general. We unboxed some CSGO knives, and a little bit after that, she came out, kind of. Where she said, like, I'm on HRT, but, like, I don't know the pronouns yet. And I got a phone call. I was invited to a Mr. Beast shoot out in Tokyo. Now, at the time, oh my god.
Didn't Shad draw Lieutenant Corvus? Yes, Shad did.
Dude, this haunts me. I'll give you context. I was hanging out with someone called Soda at the time that had flown in from the States to meet me.
That's the Jean Hollywood.
Who was another close friend that I had that was in, like, sort
Giggly
of
goon clown.
The industry. And so we went to Tokyo. We all went. We went shopping and we hung out and we took this selfie. I thought that I was invited pretty much just for fun, but not really, apparently. See, this person in the middle here is called Soda. This year, on my birthday, weirdly enough, I've made this tweet, which has now since been deleted.
Who's more Jover, Doc, or Kris? Probably Kris, although Doc is pretty Jover, to be honest with you. The thing is, there were a lot of people defending Doc, saying it wasn't that bad when it happened, which is not true, but I haven't seen anyone defending Kris Tyson. Not that they should be defended, but I haven't seen anyone. It's pretty over.
But I did take issue with this, but it's worth noting that I followed up with Ava on this, and then a week later she got back to me with what here is called Soda. This year, on my birthday, weirdly enough, Ava made this tweet, which is now...
Finally going to talk about this because it doesn't involve me and I don't want anyone involved. I invited someone to Japan because I was going through it mentally. My test levels were 650. My E was 250 at the time, so I invited the person I was kind of friends with because they had just started HRT and I also had a crush on them. They asked me if they could bring a friend, and since it was a Mr. Beast video, I said yes because there would be downtime. I met the person maybe 3 times total before I realized they were into each other, and I left because I felt like I had been used for a free date to Japan. It was kind of left as a third wheel. I never talked to them again except to reply on Twitter, because there's one picture of us in the same picture. People call me a file. So they're saying that Finster and John Hollywood were like porning. They were doing stuff. Ooh.
Now since been deleted, but I did take issue with this. But it's worth noting that I followed up with Ava on this, and then a week later she got back to me with a big apology about this statement. But still, I feel like it's important to give context. There's some awful shit about Soda that we're going to get to in a second, but she said, finally going to talk about this because it doesn't involve me and I don't know any of the guys involved. I invited someone to Japan because I was going through it mentally. My testosterone and E levels were bad, so I invited
it's like spelled Jean, but it's pronounced like Jean because it's like a French name or some shit.
the person I was kind of friends with because they had just started HRT and I also had a crush on them. I didn't know that at the time. They asked me if they could bring a friend, and since it was a Mr. Beast video, I said yes because there'd be some downtime. I met the person 3 times total before I realized they were into each other, and then I left because I felt like I'd been used for a free date to Japan and was kind of left as a third wheel. Never talked to them again except a reply on Twitter because there is one picture of us in the same place. People call me a... Now, this is the photo they're referring to, and I get why they made that statement. It is not true. Ava knew who Soda was. I had prior introduced them. It wasn't just, can I bring this random person along? And it was also not someone that I was interested in, because what I messaged her about after it came out was saying, I didn't know
Would you say Lau was groomed if Kris actually did something and you had the same amount of evidence? I would, so I think grooming is very possible. Of course. Would you say Lau was groomed if Kris actually did something and you had the same amount of evidence? If Kris actually them or got nudes from them and I had all the other stuff, of course I would, so I think grooming's possible. I agree, grooming is very possible. I just don't know if it happened with that person. That's all I'm saying. And when I say grooming, I mean the specific act of grooming a child for sexual purposes, right? To fuck them or to get nudes out of them, right? That's what I'm saying.
You felt that way, I would have thought very differently about this trip if I knew. But the part that Ava says where she left fairly quickly is true. I didn't know why, and the reason was given to me that she wanted to go see her kid, which is fair. I've never been a parent. I assume that you probably care about them. I don't know. Also, we have spoken since. I'm not sure why they threw that in, because we made a video together, and in regards to everything involved...
So according to them, Ava just lied.
Soda was also involved in a different bit of drama, sounds like the wrong word. DMs were leaked between Soda and an actual file where Soda is role-playing and going along with a file's fantasies.
Yes.
Nothing super explicit, but the phrase "yay child" was used, which I found weird. And shortly after that controversy, communication very quickly slowed with both of them. Ava didn't want to talk to Soda, brand risk. Ava didn't want to talk to me, brand risk. It didn't fit the branding image of Mr. Beast, which is fair enough. I was told that going into when we did the shoot in Tokyo. I was just sort of a standby. I was never going to be in the video.
Bit of drama. Yeah, when the bit of drama is a file.
Because obviously, I'm not exactly a kid-safe content creator. I'm not exactly PG. It was very quickly and very rightfully at the point where kind of no one talks to each other out of that photo anymore. But that photo does exist, and good God, it will haunt me forever. I'm not proud to have called those people my friends. Everything in this situation is just gross and weird, and it's sick. Our morals very clearly don't align, and now I have some fun trust issues to work through in therapy. That photo of us together while we were having a nice time at the time, no one knew anything about anything. The information about SodaCat came out much later in the year, and we hadn't met up since that photo was taken. But that memory now is just horrible and tainted, and I can't look at it. The final update being Ava has since stepped down from Mr. Beast with not a very apologetic apology. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments.
Yeah, like worst apology of all time. Like it's so like non-specific too, you know? Like that's part of the problem, I think, is that they don't respond at any specific point. And I wouldn't care if they didn't respond at any specific point if there wasn't anything against them or any like allegations against them that were credible or anything like definitive. But like realistically, that's just not the case. Like there's quite a bit to get Ava Kris Tyson on, you know? Like I feel like a lot more could be talked about in that response, which was not for whatever reason.
If it hurt or offended anyone, it was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided that it's best that I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add I never groomed anyone. The person who brought up these accusations, Lava, has vocally supported that they're false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone who I've hurt with my unacceptable social media.
Well, thank God you're being humble.
Opposed past actions, and to those who feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In the past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I've stepped away.
Thanks for the no, but no.
I don't know. It's just not a good apology. It's just not an apology. I think Ava's statement clarifies the situation well, but even still, a lot of my gripes come from what we know are true and that are checkable on social media. I'm really sorry if I'm the one that brought this news to you. I'm trying to be a bit more upbeat about it, but this has caused me an awful lot of lost sleep over the fact that this was a thing. I think it's good that she stepped down from Mr. Beast. What she said was weird. This whole situation does just...
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think there's any, like, response/apology that could really make up for the stuff that Kris Tyson did definitively do, you know? I feel like there's nothing that can really be said, you know? Yeah.
Suck. I do understand the people speculating about it, of like, Ava's trans, Soda's non-binary, and I'm whatever I am. I've already seen people online making shit up about me. People posting that screenshot and saying that I have a Discord full of children that I promote OnlyFans to, which is insane. I'm not the owner of the Discord. It's community ran. I haven't spoken in there ever? Have I? Let me check. I must have spoken once or twice. Yeah, in 2021, there's about 5 to 10 mods that I'm paying actively to manage that Discord and to make sure no weird shit goes on in there. And I mean to the extent of we'll ban you if you say your age, no matter what it is. The mods have infinite decision-making power. They can ban whoever. If you talk about my OnlyFans, the fact that I do it, anything sexual at all, you will get banned. But again, I'm not in there. Which is why I'm trying to approach this topic from the, I get that trans people get an awful lot of about everything all the time. But holy shit, man. Trans people deserve rights and respect the same way anyone else.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your commentary on that topic. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting that Ava apparently knew that person and claimed not to at all. Makes you think about what else they may have known about them, but once again, I would just like to see evidence of that. I wonder if that Soda Cat person has ever talked about them publicly. Not that they have a right to, or that anybody would really care, just given the fact that, Soda Cat is, you know, into weird pedo shit themselves. I remember that person, what is their name on Twitter? It's like Jean Hollywood. I think I blocked them after I had my conversation with them for the video. I think I showed the DMs in the video, the relevant ones. Yeah, I think they kept messaging me for a bit after that. I think they were like, I liked your new video, and I just didn't fucking respond. Because during the Goon Clown stuff, I had messaged them to get info. Keep playing it. They clip chimp Mr. Beast. All right, fine.
Or misgendering Kris, or throwing around slurs, or hating on trans people that have nothing to do with anything is extremely up. And while I'm used to it and I don't care, it's more that I've seen it to random people now. People in my replies, people in replies to my friends, just random people on Twitter. And also, since I guess I'm connected in some way, there's been a few people that came out saying that the issues at Mr. Beast run a lot deeper, and as of the time I'm recording this, it's the 24th. Nothing has come out about it except for one thing. God damn it, is this clip of Jimmy talking about a, at the time, 14-year-old celebrity.
He did say that he enjoys the Catch Me Outside girl and thinks she's funny, so let's just...
So that just shows what...
Let's be real. Do you want to put your dick in it?
I mean, it's rather...
Oh, dude, Jesus Christ, that silence is rough. I just wanted to say I can't speak to any of that. The people that I met on the team were perfectly nice. I never saw anything weird, but I've been to one away shoot with Mr. Beast, and beside from some obscene wealth displays, there's nothing that I saw that was all that strange, but we're...
Obscene wealth displays? Who even cares? Also, why just play that clip out of context and never, like, give any commentary other than be like, like, we've seen the full clip, Finster, where Mr. Beast says it's a joke and he's saying random shit out of context to get clipped, right? Like, I feel like just playing that unrelated and being like, oh, you know, oof, kind of, you know, kind of dumb. It's kind of weird you can't say your age. I would say it's weird, but they said they banned any sexual stuff in the server, so it's whatever. Mr. Beast got exposed for fraud.
Probably just gonna have to wait till Jimmy comes out and says something to learn anything more about this whole situation. Okay, we have an update. Mr. Beast tweeted, I'm nearly certain a PR team wrote this, but either way. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct investigations to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. I'm going to say there will be no further action, because there never is. I do kind of call BS a little bit. Obviously, the Shad stuff is fairly worrying, and he also obviously kind of knew about it. I will say, from the brief interaction I have had with Jimmy, I really doubt he knew the extent of it. I just don't think think he cares enough to ask Kris about their life like this. It's not really something like, you have to have a really specific group of friends to be able to talk to each other about your sexual
All right, shut up. You're done. Okay, well, you know, that was some interesting insight I guess we got from F1NN5TER. Nothing really groundbreaking, but yeah, one thing I am really curious about is the giggly goon clown and how much they knew Kris Tyson, right? Like, was Kris Tyson in DMs having the same kind of conversations as Soda Cat? You know, I don't have any evidence of that. It's not an allegation. It's a genuine question. Like, if you know that person, did that ever come up? You know, I don't know.